It's time now for a look at what's trending online across the Middle East. And Julia Seeger is with us today. Hello to you, Julia.
Hello.
We're going to start off with the Mannequin Challenge, which has reached the front lines in Iraq.
Absolutely. The challenge was undertaken by Iraqi soldiers in Mosul who took time out of their ISIS fighting schedule, I guess, to pose on the outlook atop a building in the city. As you can see here, it's of course a video that has sparked much public outcry, at least on social media. Now, there's another controversial mannequin challenge that was created, and this time by the Syrian White Helmets. They're a volunteer organization in Syria. You can see two of their workers frozen in the midst of a rescue while there's an actor there pretending to be trapped under some rubble. The White Helmets explained later on that they created this video because they were trying to spread awareness about the horrors happening in and around the besieged city of Aleppo. But later they were forced to apologize because the content of this video was deemed inappropriate and offensive.
Let's move to Egypt now, where the government wants to create crocodile farms to control the number of reptiles in Lake Nasser.
That's right. It's a fascinating story. Crocodiles were frequently hunted in Egypt until the 1950s, and they almost completely disappeared from the Nile River. But in the last couple of decades, many fishermen insist that the reptile has made more than a healthy comeback. And the problem now is the opposite. There are too many crocodiles in Lake Nasser. Now, how did this happen? Well, the Lake Nasser is actually a huge reservoir that was created when the Aswan High Dam was built in 1964. And the dam has stopped crocodiles from being able to cross over to the Nile River. It's also retained a lot of the fish, so crocodiles have lots of fish to eat, and that's why the population is growing. Now, according to the government, today there are 3,000 crocodiles in Lake Nasser. They're a threat not only to men, but also to the environment. And to counter this threat, well, the Egyptian Ministry of Environmental Affairs wants to create so-called crocodile farms to control their number, of course, but also to make money off of it. You can use their skin, of course, to make boots and purses. You can also use their meat. You can make crocodile steaks, but there's also crocodile oil, which is a very important ingredient right now for the cosmetic industry. It's really one of the best remedies for dry skin. It's derived from its fat, and you may have heard of it without knowing it. It's called repticillin. Now, there are also animal defense groups that have expressed concern over the creation of these farms, and mainly on the grounds of animal cruelty.
Let's finish with a quick word now on Saudi Arabia, where some women are dropping the niqab.
That's right. Many Saudi women are now opting for the Islamic veil. It's a veil that covers the hair, and sometimes they even leave a strand of hair. It's a growing phenomenon that's gained speed in the last few years, but it was very striking at the MISC Global Forum in Riyadh. It's an event for young people, and this is something relatively new, Hala, especially in the landlocked capital of Riyadh that's very conservative. It's also a sign that the religious police is losing ground because these women are able to wear these veils. But the change taking place in Saudi Arabia is not just about the veil. In late September, 15,000 women signed a petition and sent it to the government asking for the end of man guardianship. Today, Saudi women have to have a male guardian, and they have to have their consent to be able to get married or even to have access to health care.
Oh, golly, certainly something to keep an eye on. Thanks so much for that. Julia Seeger taking us through what's trending online across the region. Let's move on to